thinking back into Acts chapter 4, we saw how the apostles were filled with boldness or courage, apostolic courage for the task. And now in this moment of peacefulness, as Saul has turned or God has turned him to himself, and the church enjoys a period of that kind of peace, it's still business as usual. And Peter, of course, representing what we might call the house of the apostles, the college of the apostles, the fellowship of the apostles, however we want to put that, is now down in Lydda and then Joppa, and will move to Caesarea. And as he goes, it's not that new churches are being established. There's no such thing. It's the same church. The church that began in Jerusalem is moving out. And the connection to Jerusalem is vital. And we'll see how that changes, and we'll pick it up particularly in Acts 15. So here we are in Lydda, and there's a need for a man to be healed after 8 years of paralysis and lying day by day on a bed. Please not only notice echoes from the ministry of Jesus, Peter had learnt that, but please also remember the prophetic tradition, Elijah, Elisha. At one level, nothing has changed. We're moving right along. And so a healing is going to come through Peter. And literally in verse 34, he says this: Jesus Christ heals you. Peter knows he can't, but he knows that his voice, as the voice of God, can. And that takes courage. Please notice that if you get healed, there's lifestyle changes. The first thing that Peter says is, Jesus Christ heals you, rise, that is, be straight. And that ultimately is the fullness of the resurrection, to be straightened. And make your bed. I don't want to make my bed. Well, stay on it then. And you'll notice then after that how everybody in that area comes to hear of this miracle. The next one's Joppa, and in Joppa it's death. And here we have a very clear account again, following the pattern of Jesus. This is not God showing off. This is not Jesus Christ's superstar. The first thing that Peter does is he gets as many people out of the room as possible. Then he prays, then he speaks to a dead body. What a stupid thing to do. Unless God. Tabitha, rise. Eyes open, sees Peter, sits up. He then holds out his hand and lifts her, giving her a hand up. Then he calls everybody back. She's given back to the community. Many believe, and on we go. Excuse me. Please notice the last verse, verse 43. And he stayed in Joppa for many days. Well, I suspect they did want him around, with one Simon, a tanner. Now, why does Luke want us to know that he stays with Simon? Well, Simon, a tanner, would have been unclean, working with the dead animals, leathers, things like that. And although Cornelius is usually presented to us as such a surprise, God is setting the stage up. He's setting Peter up, because Peter is going to stay with one already who is considered by most as unclean, and God is accepting the unclean as clean. Fortunately, he's done that for me, and he's done that for you. He comes and makes us clean.